International Sales and Marketing Hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best. You heard? What up, Tekk?
What up? Nothing but a G thing. I thought
Baby.
you knew.
We're gonna have a great show today, man. I'm excited. Couple of things, man. Couple of things. So I want to make a couple of announcements. We will be rolling out a new show, ladies and gentlemen. A brand new spanking show. Tekk, do you want to tell them the name of the show and what's it going to be about?
Yeah, the name is actually it's kind of bouncing between two possibilities of names. So it's going to definitely be either Stay Calm with Tekk Amaku, or we're going to just keep it all kosher and just keep it the Golden Stamp Notary Radio.
So be on the lookout for that, you guys. That what's the topics going to be like?
See, this is going to be a holistic radio show about entrepreneurship and specifically having to do with the notary industry. But at the same time, we're going to cover some things about overcoming obstacles and how you got through those hurdles, and really just bring your specific perspective on a lot of topics, because there's a lot of information. Anybody can get on YouTube and say anything, can make a channel and just say whatever the heck, but they don't necessarily have some of the information to back that up. So we're going to walk through people's specific journeys and get to learn a lot about the individuals and what they did specifically, and what they were thinking while they were doing it, and some of the things that they encountered. So it's a lot of background story. You see a lot of the end result. You don't see a lot of the ongoing process. So this is going to help you walk through some of those hurdles, because I can look back on my life 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and I can see that. That's exactly what I was going through. That's exactly what I was thinking at that time. So yeah, a lot of people get a lot of help from these shows.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So today we will be talking about quite a few topics. We're going to be talking about R.O.N going live in California. We're also going to be talking about how NOTARIZE.com has flipped the script on everybody, and they are now going under a different name, and what that means to the notary industry. And probably our biggest news thus far right now is Google is making some changes. What does that mean to your business? And will you still be getting those leads from Google Business Profile as you have been? So go ahead, Tekk, lead off, brother.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? Which one?
Yeah, let's start off with R.O.N being legal in California.
Okay. Yeah, so there's an interesting new development. As you know, first of all, Happy New Year's to everybody. Thank y'all for
Happy New Year's.
Shout out to all the people who rock with us, especially if you are fingerprinting gurus. I need to holler at you, by the way.
Yeah, what up? What up, fingerprinting guru? How you?
Yeah, I always like to say hello to everybody who joins us and takes the time to rock with us.
What up, Notary World? She's out there in Cali. It doesn't start till 2030. Not necessarily, right, Tekk? Technically, it started.
Technically, you can get started right now.
Right now.
There's a company.
Beautiful picture, by the way, Notary World. Beautiful picture. I like it.
Yeah. So here's the thing: remote online notarizations, or R.O.N, what is known as, is something that's been accepted across the country in, I believe, 43 states, including California. So for the most part, here's how most people approach the R.O.N industry. So if you get a document signed, then you meet with a person individually, sit with them across the desk, and then they sign and they stamp the document. Typically, that's how it goes. So with everything turning digital, this economy becoming more digitized and really transitioning online, it would seem appropriate that the process of getting your documents notarized would also follow. And that's exactly been the case. For notaries, for the person, I'm not going to say notaries, for the person, for the individual who becomes a notary, then here's an opportunity for you to add to what you've already, to your repertoire, to what it is that you offer. Now, a lot of people who are notaries, and again, I'm going to be very specific when I say this. I'm not saying notaries. I'm saying people who have notary commissions. And there's a subtle difference between the two. And I'm going to really hammer this home because I live in California and I know a lot of people who are notaries. I'm going to give an example that one woman I work with, let's just call her, T. She is an older woman, early 60s, and she's had a long career in legal work, document preparing and things like that. She added notary to her repertoire in 2 years ago during the pandemic. Really ramped it up, really got it going until she had a surgery, until she needed to have a knee surgery, and then that sidelined her or like prevented her from going out into the field and doing all the traveling and going up and downstairs and going to people's houses. I worked with her in the capacity that when I would get clients, I would refer them out to her. I would contract with her and she would go execute the notarizations. And she would let me know whether or not she was able to do it. Until a time when she stopped responding and I found out that she had surgery. So she had to be sidelined for a while. Slowly and gradually, she stopped doing notarizations. When she found out that R.O.N was becoming legal in California, she was all of a sudden excited again because it meant she didn't have to travel. She could stay home and she could sit in her apartment and she could just log onto her computer. She would still be able to get contracts. She would still be able to earn income and she would still be able to keep her commission. It would seem obvious, right? Here's the thing. I'm paying her $75, $100 to go out and do these executions. When she signs up with this platform, that $100 has been reduced significantly. No longer is she able to make the $100 that she was able to earn. She thought she would be able to because it's California, because the prices are so high, because there's a multitude of opportunities. But that $100 actually turned into $5 and as much as $20. So if you're able to drop 80% or almost 95% of your profits and still survive, then by all means, go ahead. If that doesn't sound like you, then this is why I want you to pay attention. With this new passage of this capability to do remote online notarizations, this is for Californians. This really goes to everybody. I'm really speaking to everybody in the country, but I'm really honing in particularly on Californians. If your motive and your intention is to continue to be as profitable and be as busy as you once were, then I've got some news for you. Now that this is open, now that this is available statewide, now here's what you can expect. A company that consolidates all of the notaries in the state of California, they can now use that capacity. California being the largest, populous state, most real estate here, the highest earning state. If you're a notary in California and you were hoping to cash in on some of that development, then you're going to be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
If all of a sudden you don't see an increase in work, you don't see an increase in revenue, you're going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised. And here's why you shouldn't be surprised. You're a company like NOTARIZE or a company like Proof that we're going to talk about later on, and then you now have the capacity to do business within the state lines, which you didn't before prior to last week, right? That's why we kind of talk about it doesn't start to 2030. Well, a company like NOTARIZE, they can actually start executing those notarizations with their notaries that are in other parts of the country. if you are a notary and you are trying to do remote online notarizations with the intention of trying to increase your income, then I want you to take a second look. Unless you can compete on a advertising level with a company like NOTARIZE or with a company like Blue Notary or whatever platform it is, unless you can put the level of advertising and the level of marketing and get in front of a client, meaning they type in Google, I need a notary, and then your name, your individual company name pops up above a company like Notarize or a company like Blue Notary or a company like any other round platform. If you can accomplish that, if you have the budget and you have the skill, and and you have the technical know-how to get above them, then you win the client. Then you have the possibility of earning that client's business. But if you don't think you can compete with their marketing budget, which you can't, if you don't think you can compete with their marketing and their advertising budget, which I highly doubt you can. I know I can't, and I'm skilled at this. Tiger, you know this. I actually do this. If you have the ability to compete statewide, by the way, not and they're not spending small money. I believe they completed $374 billion in real estate transactions. Then you can go ahead and compete with them. Now, here's another thing I want to add in here. This is really targeted towards people who do real estate closings. If you are a notary and you primarily two-step in the real estate, loan doc, refinance purchases, if that's your bread and butter, then you need to pay very close attention to this. Very close. So for the record, I haven't done a loan doc transaction in I don't know, years. Personally, I can't remember the last time. I just bought a ream of paper for the first time in 3 years. Before Christmas, I ordered some Christmas gifts on Target, and I actually threw in another $5, 500 stack of paper. That was the first time I bought paper in 3 years. I haven't used my printer in for notary related stuff in years. But if you've two-step in this industry and you've kind of you saw it go up, you saw it go down, you think that it's going to go up again, and now with the passage of this remote online bill, it's going to give you the capacity to do remote online notarizations on your own. Here's the reality. The truth is, if you don't work for these platforms, meaning you don't have a business anymore, you actually have given yourself another job. You have now become an employee or contractor for these companies. No, you're trained by them. They're going to train you on their software, on their platform, on their procedures. They're going to hand you an employee handbook, disguised as a subcontractor or independent contractor, disguised as it, and you're going to abide by their rules. You're going to work on their timeline. You're going to get paid what they pay you. You're going to work when they tell you to work. You are going to effectively become an employee for these R.O.N platforms, unless you can compete with them on an advertising marketing level, which, and I can't compete with them. And if I can't compete with them, I know you're not competing with these people. It would be a waste of time for you to try to compete with notarize.com. It would be a waste of time. It would be a waste of time for me to compete with Target or Walmart. It would make no sense for me to try to compete with Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? You're not speaking to the same.
They're dominant in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, you're speaking a completely different language. So yes, it's exciting. Yes, we've expected the evolution of technology. But let's look at the past and let's learn from the past and let's see where things are going. In the past, you've always had the advantage by being the owner. You've always had more leverage when you are the person who's calling the shots. You're the person who's setting the price. You're the person who's making the decisions. You have the playing field. It's yours. Not when you're playing with somebody else, because what we've learned when there's massive tech layoffs, There are massive people losing their jobs. Economy. The moment that Notarize sees that you're not helping, or you're affecting their bottom line, maybe you're uh, you know you're slow to execute a notarization, boom, you're replaced. And then now what? You're going to go to another platform and then work for them. Here's the warning. Now, we're not just here to just sound alarms. We're here to give you solutions. This is what we've always done. This is why we sound different. This is why our message always sounds a little bit different. It always seems a little bit different because we're going to give you a solution. It doesn't sound like it's the prettiest, but ultimately it is the solution. The solution is always, and has always been, and always will be, is to you be the owner, to you call the shots, you to own the company. That means get the client yourself, you determine the price, you determine the playing field, you get the customer. That's what it's always been. If it's not that way, then you just have to accept that you now then contract or you work for another company. That might be cool with you. And if it is, good luck. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying caution. If you expecting this to become, all right, here's my new source of income, here's my new revenue stream, not so fast.
Yeah, so fingerprinting guru said so they're creating a monopoly. Yes. Yes, they are.
That's right.
As they should.
As
As
they
they
should.
look, let's be honest, y'all. Let's be honest, man. Like, who wants to be in second place? Not I. So if you have the ability to dominate and monopolize an industry, you should do that. Otherwise, you're very comfortable with the scraps. They do have the budget. I'm not sure exactly what happened with the FedEx deal with R.O.N, which we'll get into notarize.com in a second. But they have the budget. They are making large business to business deals. They have the technology. They have the engineers and software engineers working on this thing tirelessly. So like Tekk was saying, competing with them in the advertising space, they're probably playing with a 5-6 budget a month, budget for advertising. So this now, what are some of the solutions that you can offer or tell people, Tekk, that they can, either make a pivot or actually utilize their services for their benefits? What would you suggest, brother?
Hey, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Because first of all, thank you guys for being here. Just by you being here on this live, listening, watching this video, just by you being here, thank you. And you've done yourself a service. You've done yourself a great benefit by being here, getting this message, getting this information, because you're not going to get this information from a lot of sources. I guarantee most people are excited. They're juiced about doing a remote online notary. Here's another revenue stream. Here's the thing, though. Here's a question you have to ask yourself. Where did the client come from? Did the client contact you directly? Because there's this notion that going direct, meaning I go and buy some Cheez-Its and Doritos and Lay's potato chips and donuts and drop them off at a title company, that's going direct. Mm-hmm. There's this notion that is what it means to go direct. I'm here to tell you something. Going direct, there's only one way to go direct, and that's going directly to the customer. That's what going direct means. If you're not going directly to the customer, you're not going direct. If the customer is not coming directly to you, that's not going direct. You have 100%. To go directly to the customer. So by you being here, this is the number one thing I want to tell you. Your focus has to be changed. There has to be one goal only. The customer needs to come directly to me. That's your goal. Because at that time, now you control the playing field. Now you control the rules. So here's what I would do. Number one, first thing I would always do is get a cell phone. Get a separate cell phone dedicated to your business. Committed cell phone that's only for business transactions, 100%. Number one, it shows that you do have a business, right? And let's not talk about taxes, because if you're writing off your tax bill, if you're writing off your cell phone bill on your taxes, then the easiest way to do it is to have a separate cell phone. 100% written off, 100%. So number one, get yourself a separate cell phone. Then that cell phone needs to be connected to a website or some type of web presence, because when people look for you, they're going to call the number that's on that website. And we're going to talk about the websites later on when we start to talk about Google. But I'm not going to overwhelm you with a whole laundry list of things to do. If you don't have a cell phone, go get that first. That's number one. But let's say you already do have a cell phone, and it's not a Google Voice number, by the way. Ditch the Google Voice numbers. Google Voice might end that next.
Talk on it.
That might be the next thing that they get rid of.
Google got a hell of a lot of switcheroos on people, man. Hey, take my experience with Google for what it's worth, y'all. It's real.
It shouldn't surprise you if they do switch it up. That's what a company does. The next thing to do after you get a cell phone is to now you have to build your empire on your own soil. This is one of my favorite quotes from my brother Assam Malik. You have to build your empire on your own soil. What does that mean? That means your website. It can't be connected to Squarespace, to Wix, to GoDaddy. I mean, because GoDaddy goes out of business and Wix goes out of business, Squarespace goes out of business. What's left? You need to have an independent presence that's under your control. Well, Tekk, damn, I don't even like websites, man. I never built a website. Oh, well, you need to use the landing page route then. You need to go and have a presence that you control.
Yes.
It's got to be under your control, because at any point in time, they can switch it up on you. And then what happens to what you did? What happens to your business? It's gone. Now, this is not something that can't be done. This is something that can truthfully be done in a weekend with some real legit focus. It can be done in a weekend. So this is not some months-long monumental task. This is something that can be implemented in a short bit of time. And with the right steps, this is the foundation that can't be collapsed. This is the reason why when R.O.N goes public in California, I don't worry. Or some people don't worry, because you've got that foundation that you can't go backwards. Once you've got the phone, you've got the solid website presence, you've got assets that you control. So those would be my solutions. And then the second, so you say, Tekk, I got the phone, I own my own website. Then now what? How do I get customers? There's the fast way, and then there's the free way. You can do it the free way, or you can do it the fast way. The fastest way to do it, the free way to do it, would be just to go around and sign up, where people are looking for notaries, which is online, right? Directories, listings, databases, listservs, things like that, handing out business cards. Requires work. It requires some footwork, telling your family members, word of mouth. But as we all know, the direction is going. Look, again, what we learned, let's learn from the previous 20 years. Let's look to the next 20 years. What direction is it going? Everything's going online. Everything's been digitized. This is what I would do. I wouldn't do it the free way, because again, you have a business. I would do it the fast way. I would start advertising. I would put money, as you should. You should be putting money into the business, right? Because this is a business, right? You should be putting something. I ain't saying put something down into advertising, so that in the event that somebody calls, somebody wants to get a notary done, they can at least find you, and then you can service them. But you have to get in front of people's faces. And that comes with a lot of other stuff, as far as, well, what do I charge? What do I say? I can only charge $2. The state only allows me to charge $1.50. All right, and then at that point, the question is, why did you get into this industry? And when I work with people, the first thing I always like to ask them is, how did you even learn about this industry? Because if somebody's only making $2 for a signature, and that sounded appealing to you, then what happened? Where did it go wrong? So it's time for a new lesson. It's time for people to wake up, and I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to take that pillow from underneath your head and just wake you up, man.
Yeah, no, that's solid. I'm noticing that speed is extremely important in today's climate and today's market. I was just reading the Wall Street Journal earlier today, and did you know that Walmart has launched in Fort Worth, Texas, drone delivery? Drone delivery. You will have drones bring deliveries. I guess it depends on where you live. It's a house or if it's a rural area, but they're estimating by June of this year, they should have 73% of Fort Worth, Texas deliveries being done by drones. So what that tells me as a business person is that convenience and speed is extremely important. And a cardinal rule in business is you never justify speed. So if a person can get something notarized online without waiting and stuff like that, they're going to attack the quickest way possible, the most convenient and quickest way possible. Now, for some people, the quickest way would be to call a notary to come out because somebody may be bedridden. They may not be technologically savvy and stuff like that. So you will always have a market for that. I'll say that. You will always have a market there. Look, my nephew is a millennial, doesn't even know how to send an email. Doesn't even want to learn how to send an email. Some people, technology just isn't their thing.
That's right.
Right? Baby boomers, technology just isn't their thing. It's not that they can't learn it. They have no interest in learning it. They have no interest. So you'll always have a market for mobile notaries. We're looking at it as, all right, what does this mean for the industry? What is the climate looking like? What is the forecast looking like? NOTARIZE is not letting up. They're not.
No, they see an opportunity there. And again, this is for overwhelming majority. And I talked about this before. When I went to go renew my commission, there were about 82 people in the room, and all of them except for 2 were classified as notary signing agents, meaning they specialized in real estate executions. Okay, so what that means is they either work for somebody at a legal firm or hospital, or whatever bank type of outfit, or they only did real estate. Like, yeah, people say, yeah, I'll do a power of attorney. I guess I've never done that before, but I can do it. No. If you're not getting the client yourself, then this is new. This is new territory because it involves sales, like this training that we're doing now. It involves an entirely different approach. It involves pricing. It involves negotiation. It involves systems. It involves processes that execute, that get the, it involves communication with the customer. It involves a completely different aspect than just getting a text message from your phone and then going out to somebody's house and then sending documents back and then waiting 40 days to get paid. Most people the R.O.N industry is kind of tailored around the real estate industry. And that's why people are excited. But let's not forget, that's only a portion of it. There's this whole entire world that you may not even been exposed to, where notarizations take place on a daily basis. Trust have to get updated. Gun permits have to be applied for. Passport applications have to be sent. driver's license have to be updated. Agreements, I can go on and on and go on. Leasing agreements, cars, boats have to be sold. There's all this other aspects of the whole notarization industry, and it has nothing to do with whether or not you can do it remotely. Sometimes the person might just say, hey, listen, I'm outside of the UPS store right now, and they told me that they can't sign this. I need it done like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you send somebody out? Well, we can do it remotely. Well, no. I need to send somebody, I need to see somebody, or I'm a family and I'm an immigrant family and we got a power of attorney that needs to be translated from Spanish to English. And, I need to actually ask some questions and I would like to speak to somebody. We can do it remotely. No. You think NOTARIZE is going to let you give a consultation over the phone to their clients? You think that, listen, it's always going to be top priority. Number one is for you to get the client. It's never going to change. NOTARIZE knows that. They're going to get the client. They get the client, and then they disperse it or distribute it amongst all the other notaries. And then, they pay you for doing their work and building their business. It's always going to be that.
Fingerprinted Guru said they drinking that Kool-Aid, Tekk.
Pick up, sip, man.
Got my girl LaShonda Collins in the building. Shout out to everybody on here. Shout out to Notary World. Appreciate you guys. You guys are putting on some great comments, sharing. Please share this video with your fellow colleagues, people on your platform. It really helps out with this channel. Hit that like button. It really helps with the algorithm. Supposedly, I don't know. I don't speak algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. So, Tekk, we're going to go into our next topic, brother, which is Notarize.com decided to flip the script and call themselves Proof. What do you know about that, bro?
Yeah. This is big news, you guys. I like this. I like this story because as many people know, like we just were discussing, Notarize.com, which is a great name, by the way. Like, kudos to them who got that domain name. But for people who wanted to notarize things, get documents signed online, electronically, then they were able to do that. Now, here's a lesson in entrepreneurship and here's a lesson in business building. And we can all learn something from them. So they recently as October of last year, 2023, that they came up with this new company called Proof. Now, Proof should sound familiar because here's the thing: before you could execute an online notarization, you had to prove who you are, right? You can't just appear in front of a notary and then sign something. It has to be Bob, it has to be Sharon, it has to be Tiger, it's got to be, you have to prove to us that you are. The way you did that is through these questions, and they call KBA questions, these knowledge-based assessment questions, where you would then prove that you are this person. You could actually execute or facilitate this notarization. Here's what I'm going to guess happened, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we know the first iteration of what we put out isn't always the last thing. Sometimes it evolves into something else. And every company you can probably think of has started as something else, and then it evolved into what you now know it as today. And I like to tell the story of Groupon. Groupon is a great example of that. Groupon, people know, is a company that gives you these coupons for these outings and these social events. It didn't start that way though. Groupon actually started off as like a community fundraising event, or a disability for companies or for individuals who supported one cause. Let's say you supported a political cause. You would go out. So we're going to have a pizza party down at NYC Pizza, and then for everybody who comes, we're going to take a portion of the money, and then we're going to donate it to this cause. Groupon actually started off like that, and then as they found out, is that people like to show up and get discounts. So what they did was they evolved it into this business model that became Groupon. Notarized in a similar fashion. Here's just probably what happened, right? I don't know this, I haven't verified this, but probably something along these lines. What they realized is that there were some issues with identifying people. Oftentimes people would come on, they would have some issues with whether or not their ID matched, or the camera didn't work on their phone, and they were having these problems with identifying people. And also in California, and I've talked about this in the past, when I said that R.O.N would never pass in California, I'm on the record as saying that it would never pass. One of the issues that a lot of the estate planning attorneys would talk about is that if I have a client with an $800 million estate, I need to know it's that person. My client has $100 million. This is a $100 million client. I need to see them, that they are breathing, living, they have blood in their veins. This is a real person. When they're making updates, your little funky family trust where you guys got a house and a couple assets. Yeah, that's cool and all, and that's important. But what about the person? And in California, this is why California was the last one to implement this. There's a lot of money here, guys. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's a lot of money here in California. And when you start signing stuff, then we need to know that it's you. This is why California has the strictest laws in terms of becoming a notary. I got to pass a 6-hour test, got to pass a background check and all this. You got to renew it every 4 years so that we know that you haven't been signing documents and then looking the other way. You haven't been leaving your stamp with the title office and then going on vacation with your $150,000 in your briefcase. We need to make sure that you haven't been pulled over for DUIs and that you ain't been doing no funny stuff. So in California, what I believe what happened is they realized they were having all these issues with identifying people, and they solved it. So now Proof is becoming this identification company where they verify people's identity, and now they make it so 100% bulletproof that the person who's signing this document is in fact that person. So let's say, Tiger, you're the executive of Uber. You're a high-ranking C-level executive of Uber, or a hospital system, or something like that, right? And you need to sign off on approvals for a bunch of people's licenses. Maybe you have contractors and remote workers all around the world, Brazil, India, North Africa, everywhere. The stroke of your pen is going to have a massive effect. So we need to prove that you are in fact you, because Tiger, you might be on vacation somewhere in the Bahamas. And if you need to sign this document internationally at 2 a.m. West Coast time, but it's 11 o'clock somewhere in the island somewhere, then we need to make sure that it is you. So they probably solved, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying something like what Notarize first started off as, and now it's evolved into this, just like Facebook kind of evolved into Meta. Like what you put out the first time, and this is the lesson we can take away from this as entrepreneurs and as business owners. This is why it's important to be a business owner and not be subject to someone else's rules in their playing field by working for them. You need to work for yourself. I'm not saying don't work for them. I'm saying you also need to work for yourself. It probably evolved, and this is what they discovered. Man, this identifying stuff is going to be big. If everything is online, if all these digital transactions are in this new economy is going to be happening virtually, we got to be the people who can 100% ensure that that person is that person. That's what you see now.
Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. We just talked about R.O.N going live in California. Right now, we are talking about Notarize.com switching their name to Proof.com. So I'm not sure if they're good at, well, according to their website, and you guys can actually go to the link in the description. I put the link of where we were doing our research. You can actually do some of the research yourself. So I put the link in there in the description tab for you. It looks like they're completely changing their name. They're not even going to go by notarize.com. They're introducing themselves now as Proof. So they're, so for people that are going to be talking about notarize.com, just know that Proof is going to be the new name of that. So what is the cost that they're charging? I think is it like $25 for the client to actually get it done, but they're paying the notary $5. Is that right, Tekk?
Yeah, I can't verify that, but
Yeah.
put it this way: if you got the client, what would you charge $25? Now I know the answer to that, but I'm asking this to the audience: if you got the client, would you charge $25, or would you charge $5, or would it be something else? For me,
I charge as much as I could possibly charge to get the client.
Which is the right answer? Which is the right answer, right? You should charge as high as you can possibly reasonably charge. Well, what's reasonable, Tekk? I don't know what's reasonable. Yeah, this is why you have to become a business owner and understand the industry, understand your market, understand the competition, understand what it is that you need. So this is the reason why. This is the reason why you can bulletproof yourself from BS. This is why when Notarize introduces this new platform, they ask you to work for them, and then you say, this doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. It's not worth my time. If I'm going to charge $5, or if I'm going to get paid $5, but I would normally charge $2.90, then is it worth your time? No, it wouldn't be. Or $135 or anything. The numbers is the numbers. But I would think of it as, how is this helping me? Your client is definitely, listen, your client's going to get the document signed somewhere, right? This is why it comes back to understanding what is a notary. What is the person a notary is somebody who defends from fraud. Yeah, we get all that. I'm saying, do you know what a notary is doing? How do you understand this profession from not just answering the phone and signing a document, but understanding that this person has a loved one that's in the hospital, or this person has gotten their car stolen, and then State Farm has issued them this letter in order for them to receive their check. They need to get this signed and proven. Understanding the motivation behind what it is that you're facilitating. That's what a notary is doing. This person has a will, and this person is they got some kids that they don't really get along with, and they want to make sure that they don't get the house and the jury, that so they want to make sure that they get a will executed, but before they become sick or ill. Understand, that's what a notary is doing. Really, that's what you're doing. That's what you're answering.
So Miami Beach Notary said, are they the #1 online platform in the world? So yes. I would say this: they are at the top of the mind of remote online notarization. I won't say that they're #1. I would say that when it comes to thinking about R.O.N, notarize.com is usually what people think of first. Sort of like when you think of luxury vehicles, you're thinking of Mercedes, BMW, right? Rolls Royce. Yes. They are at the top of mind because they aggressively push that brand. And it goes back to what Fingerprinting Guru said, that they're rebranding their company right now, which is correct. And when you rebrand a company, it gives you the ability to restructure the whole playing field. So if they used to pay notaries, let's just say half of that $25, because they're doing the rebranding, they can now drop it down to $5. Now this is just a way of business, right? Businesses are always going to try to make themselves as lean as possible. They're always going to try to, and you as an entrepreneur, a business owner, you're listening to this broadcast right now, that is your job as well. You're not supposed to be heavy weight like that, right? It shouldn't be bureaucratic in your business, it should be streamlined. It should be very lean and efficient. And that's what they're doing right now. So they're going to probably pay the notaries less, increase their profit margin just off of the rebranding, just like you said, fingerprinting guru.
Great
So
point.
that's serious. That is serious.
It's a great point, man.
Let me see. We got a comment here. Natural Jesse. Let's pull up your comment real quick. The issue with these platforms farming out the work is that the notaries do the notarizations wrong, and then the client loses money. I get so many clients that have used Notarize and paid.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. What did he say?
Yeah,
Fingerprinting guru said, them $5 fees are Bangladesh amount.
That's a good point that Natural Jesse brought up about, and getting paid about $100 trying to get the doc notarized on their platform. Then comes to me and get it done correctly. Yeah, mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that she's talking about I'm coming in person. Like they try to go to get it notarized online, goes bad, or it does incorrectly, which happens. That happens. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they find out where Natural Jesse lives or where she operates, or he or she operates, and then goes to get it done, executed. And that happens, that happens. So then what? Now Notarize is going to fire you because you work for them. You thought you worked for yourself, but you don't work for yourself. You work for them.
And I think that's one of the things that we try to emphasize the most too on this platform is that we don't speak to you guys as notaries. We speak to you as entrepreneurs who happen to be in the notary industry, right? We look at you as business owners. We look at you as moguls in this business. You just happen to be a notary or in the notary business. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is that because of you, we have our first sponsorship, right? Let me announce that this broadcast is brought to you by OPUS CLIP. Nice. Now, OPUS CLIP is a platform that I use. I take my long form videos and then I'm able to slice and dice it. I actually put the link in the description for you guys to give it a free try. This is basically what it does here. It will take your long form video and then it will chop it up and make it into short clips so you can actually take advantage of YouTube stories, Instagram reels, because that is where a lot of the attention is going now. They're trying to compete with TikTok. So if you're not taking advantage of that, I would highly suggest that because it will increase your subscriber count by 63%. So thank you, Opus Clip, for sponsoring this video. And back to the regular scheduled program.
Yeah, Opus Clip is great.
Yeah. All right, here's the big story. Here's the big story that we've been meaning to talk about here. Google. Tekk was the first person to break this news to me. Google is actually disabling their landing page website. I've used their website landing page before. It was very convenient. People were able to just jump on there and then they'll say call now. They'll hit the button. Next thing you know, they're calling you. I was like, oh, this is great. Now, I have my own website going at the same time, but that was a feature that they offered. So it kind of gave me the opportunity to have two websites. So anytime you can be in multiple places at once, you want to take advantage of that. But as of recently, let me pull this up from Google so you guys can see. And again, we put the link in the description so you can actually read up on it yourself. So websites made with Google Business Profile will turn off soon. Starting from March 1st, 2024, customers will be redirected to their business profile when they visit the website. So those that had websites, this could be a little bit disturbing for you. You may have to do a bit of a pivot on this subject matter. If you are heavily dependent on Google landing page website, because at the end of the day, Tekk, it was a landing page, wasn't it?
Yes.
Very effective though, because it was connected to Google, so it helped out with the search and the SEO.
Yes.
I actually pulled up an additional article on here, so you guys can actually see. Go ahead, speak on that, Tekk, while I pull up this article real quick.
Yeah, actually, so this now, see, because we worked with notaries in the past, and I've worked with a lot of notaries around the country, one thing I would always do, and I never forget this, man. We would always do, there was this exercise that we used to do. I'm gonna kind of briefly explain what this exercise consisted of. So I want you guys to follow me here in this. So imagine this. Imagine being in a room full of entrepreneurs, notary entrepreneurs, and in order to illustrate how easy it was to take over your own backyard, to take over your own state, even your own area, we would do this exercise. And I'm kind of explain what this exercise looked like. You're in this room full of notary entrepreneurs, and just pick a city. And we might even be able to do this right now, just to kind of demonstrate how effective, how easy it is to take over your area. So let's just take Dallas, for example, Dallas, Texas. We would type in notary in Dallas. You can even do this right now and see the search results. And then we would go down the list and we would click to see how many people had websites, how many people had their own individual empires on their own soil, or they had these Google automated generated websites for them. Now, there's nothing wrong with those websites that Google made, because like you said, they were already optimized. They were great. They were very basic and they didn't look nice. They were not, professional websites, but they were highly optimized for the Google search results, because after all, they did show up, they were made by Google. If that's what you depended on, and that's solely what you operated on as a website, meaning somebody clicked notary in Dallas, they would go scroll down the results, they would see a picture that they liked, or maybe some hours of operation, and then whatever compelled the potential client to click on that link, they did it, and then it took them to this landing page, which is essentially what it was, a website, but essentially a landing page. Had some information about your business, hours, phone number, what have you. Maybe there was a button there, and then they would click a button, inquiry, make an appointment, call a business, and then that was it. Those are gone, done, finished. If that's what you solely relied upon the last 3, 4, 5 years, however long, I wouldn't wait until March. I would wait until maybe this weekend and get started on refreshing your web presence, because we would go through these profiles and there were tons of people, tons of results, tons of notaries who use these websites. And again, nothing was wrong with these websites if they actually converted and led to some potential business, which they can do. But if that's what you relied upon as a website, and now that that's gone, see, some of us remember the MySpace effect. I know Tiger does.
Absolutely.
I know Tiger does.
Yeah, my business went bankrupt because of that.
If you don't know what we're talking about, then that means you're not of a certain age, but you don't have to be. It's just the concept that you have to understand. MySpace was a platform that many people use for business and social media. And then when they went out of business, everything that they had connect, because it had never happened before. Something just didn't completely go away overnight so quickly. But here it is.
Yeah. So let me read this real quick, bro. So it says, websites made on Google business profiles will be turned off soon. Websites made with Google business profiles are basic websites powered by the information on the business profile. In March 2024, websites made with Google business profile will be turned off. and customers visiting your site will be redirected to your business profile instead. The redirect will work until June 10th, 2024. So the reason why I wanted to read that part is because I want you to try to put yourself in your customer's shoes for a second and think about, if you were searching for a notary, do you believe that that little icon where it says visit website has a significant influence on your customers? Because now, you know, they can judge you by that, right? They can say, well, this person has a website. This person doesn't have a website. I feel a little more comfortable going with a notary that has a website. Do you feel that may affect the decision and buying process of your potential customer by having a website or not having a website? Now, I will say this, from a marketing standpoint, from a sales standpoint, I don't believe notaries need a full-blown website for this industry. No, you don't need an about us. Nobody cares that you like to walk your Pomeranian in the snow. They don't want to hear about what your hobbies are and stuff like that, and how long you've been a notary.
You are,
No. They have a specific goal. They have a document that they need to execute on. I believe that a landing page is more than sufficient enough, tied in with some really good sales copy. If you guys haven't seen my interview with Donnie Bryant, look that up so you can actually really know about the sales copy. It's amazing. You could really start to persuade and pre-frame people's buying decisions just off of sales copy. So look up that Notary War Room episode with Donnie Bryant. A landing page is more than sufficient enough. What do you think, Tekk?
Yeah, landing page will get the job done, because again, it goes back to the question: do you know what a notary is? A lot of people say, "Yeah, of course I know what a notary is," and I challenge that. Do you really know what a notary is? A notary is not somebody who's going to deter fraud. Yes, it is, but they're not. Somebody who's looking to get a document signed and stamped. That's it. When can you come and do this? And if you have a website, then I think that, number one, it overcomes the hurdles that comes with being able to charge reasonable prices. You know what I'm saying? If you are having a hard time struggling with people who are accepting your price, it's probably because your website doesn't look very nice. And you're trying to justify, how is it that you know, it's all about presentation, isn't it? If somebody's calling you and then you have a hard time convincing them or getting them to agree to your price, then it's probably a couple things we can point to that could stands to be improved, and that could that could help you convert more clients, so to speak. So a website absolutely can it will help you stand out, because if people don't have websites, then you automatically are not a law. Put it this way: I'm in an engineering firm, and we got to get some permits approved for a bridge that we're constructing in China. We got to get the concrete, somebody to sign off on the concrete that we're getting ready to send so that we can build this bridge. It's about 120 signatures that we got to get signed, and we need a notary.
And this is a true story. You've done this one.
This is a true story.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not just making this stuff up. Yeah.
Right. This is the $1,200 deal that you did.
Yeah. These are true stories. We want, listen, there is no competition, guys. Like, you're not competing with us. I guarantee you that. You're not competing with, I don't compete with Tiger. Tiger don't compete with me. I don't compete with fingerprinting gurus. We don't compete with each other because and not for the reasons that you think. Okay, we don't compete with each other because of our availability, and I'll break that down in other videos. But here's the thing: if I'm a company and we need to pour some concrete for a bridge in China, and we need to get 120 signatures approved by our executive, like now, we need it done now, and then you show up with your Venmo card or your Cash App card. Listen, this can't be left up to chance. You don't even have a website. you're easily going to be skipped over. That's an easy, we can disqualify you just off that. So for you to command not just the rates, but the type of, but the level of appointment, the quality of clients, then, you know, it is about presentation, and a landing page will get the job done, but you got to have something, right? You got to have the professional greeting, you got to have the call script, you got to have, this has to be a business. Otherwise, somebody who's, now if you're trying to get little Larry from the corner and he's just trying to, you know, trying to get something approved for Section 8, and no diss against Section 8 people, but I'm just saying, if that's, if you're dealing with, you know, $5 people, then you'll probably get away with that. But for most people, I imagine most people want to kind of increase or gradually improve their clientele, and they want to cater to the people who are a little bit, you know, more business, more professionals, and you know, because a lot of notary involves that. A lot of people, if you're getting a notary done, you're probably not living on the street. Okay, right? You probably have something that you want to protect, something that you want to get, something official that needs to be done. And a lot of businesses need notaries. And if you don't have a professional appearance, I can easily skip over you. That's an easy disqualifier. So what I'm saying is, yeah, the landing pages are great, websites are great. You know, now is the time to, if NOTARIZE changing their name, R.O.N being legal, all this stuff connects. All this stuff is connected. And Google disabling their websites. Listen, if this present time wasn't a wake-up call for notaries to start acting as businesses and not as side hustles, then I don't know what to tell you. There's so many, I can't stand, man. It boils my blood when I see people put out videos that say notary is the best side hustle in 2024.
Yeah, that burns me up too, man. It's this, yeah, the whole side hustle,
man.
Yeah, the whole side hustle thing, right? I agree.
It's not. I don't think they're doing it intentionally. I don't think they're miseducating you on purpose. I will say that.
It's just a cool word right now. It's a buzzword, really.
Yeah.
The whole side hustle thing. People will say side hustle for stocks, side hustle for drop shipping, side hustle for this. It's just a really popular buzzword that a lot of people are using in the lexicon right now.
Yeah, the word will get you in trouble though, because, or it'll maybe not in trouble, but you will realize this is not what I thought. I didn't expect it to be like that. I actually was in this to start a business.
Yeah.
And if that's with you, then I think you're in the right place. So congratulations. Shout out to you for being here and for treating this like a business, because it can absolutely be a business. It can be an automated business. It can be an agency business. It can absolutely
be a 6-figure, 7-figure business. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is a global business. This is a global industry right here. Like, they have notaries in Brazil, in England, and like, if you guys really wanted to start branching out globally, you can really do that. You look, it doesn't have to be your backyard. LaShonda, you're out there in Jersey. It doesn't have to be Jersey. Listen, I'm proof. I am living proof. I took this business nationally and was and currently exploring internationally in English-speaking countries. You can do that. You don't have to stay in your backyard. Here's the thing. Once you master, and I'm not going to use the word expert, but once you master this in your backyard as a business owner, mogul, entrepreneur, it is your job to take this show on the road. You can franchise your business if you want to as well. Have you ever thought about that? Like I said, me and Tekk do not talk to you guys like notaries. If you want to be talked to like a notary, this ain't the channel for you. Everyone on this channel right now is a boss. and I refuse to look at you any other way. You can franchise your notary business. Once you start developing a system and you have the call scripts and you have operations and you understand how to dispatch notaries, you can package that and sell it like McDonald's sells a franchise.
Why not? Yeah.
I just want to drop that mind-blowing grenade in your mind to like really expand. Are you thinking too small? Are you thinking incrementally? There's a book, and I want to recommend this book. I'm going to start recommending books on this platform because a lot of us are very, very smart and we're looking to elevate and take our game to the next level. The book that I'm currently not reading, but I have it on Audible, is called 10X is Easier Than 2X. It's by Dan Sullivan and Dr. I forgot his name. Unbelievable book. Get it on Amazon. Listen to it while you're working out, cleaning dishes, vacuuming the house. So next time we come back to the notary sales training, we could build on a whole nother level. We ain't playing around over here. We ain't trying to be working for notarize.com. We'll use them to further our agenda. They are just a tool. But this is our business. Let's treat it as such. Let's go into some comments real quick because we are approaching the top of the hour, Tekk. This is amazing right here. Miami Beach Notary said, I had a very interesting international notarization where the signer appeared to have switched genders, and I had a hard time verifying the face with the information I was presented. This is a gray area. Wow. See, that's somebody that's already playing in that game to actually see this type of problem, because I don't do R.O.N, right? So I would have never even guessed an obstacle like this.
Yeah, and I live in California where there is a lot of people who are transgender. There are a lot of them, man. They're just they're just walking around, man. And I actually notarized for a woman who was transitioning to a man, and she had a different name. She had a different ID card, and she had to have 2 witnesses to verify her identity. And the document that she was notarizing was involved with having her undergoing a procedure. And when you look at the ID card and you look at her, right, these are 2 different people. The face. So great point right there, Natural Jesse. This stuff happens. Or it was at Miami, I think.
Yeah, Miami.
Okay. Yeah, so, that has nothing to do with real estate, right? I don't know if that one did, but that has nothing to do with you buying or selling or refinancing or whatever package they have going on. And hopefully, I'm hoping that you got paid a reasonable amount for that, or you commanded a reasonable amount for that. But I'd love to hear more about those type of incidences. And people get afraid about those things. They get very tense about those things. Listen, at the end of the day, it goes back to the question: what is a notary? What are you trying to do as a notary? I'm trying to deter fraud. Yeah. What else? Think about it like that.
Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. Miami Beach. It is a marketing word, 100%. Yeah. Side hustle. Heck, put side hustle in your next YouTube video and watch you actually get quite a bit of views on your video. It is a popular. I think right now it's rated anywhere 15, number 15 as a popular hashtag on YouTube videos. So if you're ever going to add a tag, put side hustle. You will actually generate quite a bit of viewership just off of that hashtag. Another one is college side hustles.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. College side hustles. And I recommend the notary business to college students too. it would be a wonderful supplemental income for them while they're going to college, doing their classes, and they can schedule appointments around their own time. Boom. Now you don't have to be stuck in a facility for the next 6-7 hours. You could run an appointment real quick and then get back to your studies.
I wish I did it. I wish I did it in college.
Yeah, right.
I had all kinds of side hustles, or I you know, when I was growing up, I had all kinds of businesses that I was trying. That was one of them. I wish I would have started early.
That's right, LaShonda. Myron Golden. That's my guy. That's my man's right there. If you guys aren't following Myron Golden, you need to. Let's see here.
There was a comment about my clients are professionals. I like that client. Yeah, clients are career professionals. Yeah, you cater those people. They don't like nonsense, man. They like exactly what it is that they're asking, and you know, you could your notary business can be sort of tailored toward that persona. It really can.
So fingerprinting guru said black content creators like myself and others get shortchanged, but they will pay the other guy. Ask for my expertise, but pay the other guy. Well, I will say this, fingerprinting guru. It really is about how you're negotiating the deal. We were just talking about this, Tekk. Oh, it was a situation where a person was looking to exchange services with a person. Like they had value, the other person had value, and instead of paying each other, they would barter. The problem with that situation was that the person didn't execute at a timely fashion, right? So I had suggested to the person that it's important that you pre-frame and you state your stipulations early on in the conversation so there is no confusion. So in that situation, I said, hey, look, if I extend my services to you, I can get you trained up in 30 days. If you're going to extend your services over to me, bartering, right? I expect you to have it completed in 30 days. Otherwise, we could part as friends. We don't have to work together. So I would strongly suggest, fingerprinting guru, that you pre-frame and you negotiate the deals, because we did a video not too long ago, right, Tekk, about people entering negotiating situations and not even knowing that they're in a negotiating situation.
Great example. Great advice too.
Let's see. Yeah, you guys have some great comments. So yeah, we're at the top of the hour. Tekk, did you want to leave the family anything? Any last word?
Yeah, you know, we do have a backstage, and there's a question that says about how to franchise my remote online notary business. The same way you would do a in-person notary business. You outlined it, the call scripts, the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, you know, the rules, the prices, all that stuff. I have a list of 22 notaries who I work with. Of those 22 people, 8 of them, they actually run my system, which is the automated system. And they have success. They don't rely upon me. This is in effect a franchise or an extension of what I operate. It's theirs, their name on it, their face on it, and stuff like that. But at its core, the principles is essentially what it is that I do, which is basically it's going to allow you to run your 9 to 5 or be in college and then be able to accept orders, be able to accept clients. Either you do it or somebody else does it, and then you pay them appropriately, or you go and schedule it when you're available. And that's the system. So how would you franchise that? Exactly how I would go back and rewind that, listen to how Tekk kind of broke that down, because that's exactly right.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. I hope you and guys enjoyed the show. Tekk, how can they follow you, brother?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram at tekk.amaku, TEKK.AMAKU, or you can go to drtekk.com and read about the Brain Box. This is a community for notaries who are entrepreneurs and people who want to treat this like a business.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I also wanted to mention for those that want to know a little bit more about the R.O.N platforms and which platforms were good and the pros and cons on that, I did a Notary War Room interview with Mark Saez. We did that in October 16th. Go on to the Notary War Room and look up this episode right here. He gives really good insight on the pros and cons of using that and what to be on guard for. Because he said if you give them the ability, they will pillage through your customer base. That's serious. That's serious. So yeah, check out that episode right there. Again, we put the links to the research that we've done, and then I'll be adding more links to that in the description so you can see what Google is doing, what notarize.com/proof is doing, and then R.O.N, what they're doing out there in California. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We wish you peace, love, and happiness. I hope everything goes well for you. Let's get this money, y'all. You heard?